The first step in that process is to root out white supremacy, starting with impeaching the white supremacist in chief.
Donald Trump has been impeached for a second time, and one of the speeches that stood out during the House vote on impeachment is from Democratic Representative Cori Bush. Now, Cori Bush took out Lacy Clay, a 50-year dynasty in St. Louis. His father held the seat before he did. Cori Bush running on no corporate money, just backed by the people, running on issues like Medicare for All, Green New Deal, defunding the police, took over the seat and gave an incredible speech on the House floor. Now, before I get to that, I'm also going to show you later on an appearance that Cori Bush had on MSNBC discussing another issue. We'll get to that. But first, let me show you this 30-second speech. It cuts straight to the point. Check it out.
Madam Speaker, St. Louis and I rise in support of the article of impeachment against Donald J. Trump. If we fail to remove a white supremacist president who incited a white supremacist insurrection, it's communities like Missouri's 1st District that suffer the most. The 117th Congress must understand that we have a mandate to legislate in defense of Black lives. The first step in that process is to root out white supremacy, starting with impeaching the white supremacist in chief. Thank you, and I yield back.
I gotta say, I'm not sure I have heard white supremacist in chief, at least not on the House floor, until now. Beautiful. Perfectly encapsulates why Donald Trump had to get impeached. He incited violence, a white supremacist riot on the Capitol last week, and now he's been impeached for a second time. A historic loser. Now, before I get to the second video that I want to show you from MSNBC, first, Cori Bush. Apparently, they were booing her. Maybe I just didn't hear it when I played the video, but apparently Republicans were booing her when she gave this speech. So she tweeted out, "What does it mean when they boo the Black congresswoman denouncing white supremacy?" It answers itself. It means they're white supremacists. So just incredible for anybody to boo that speech. But this is the U.S. Congress. Now, Cori Bush also went on to say this has moved past the insurrection attempt. We've learned that GOP members gave tours to insurrectionists, coordinated with their leaders, and are trying to carry guns on the House floor. They're putting barriers around the Capitol, but the threat is on the inside right now. Cori Bush, one of the few lawmakers calling out not just Donald Trump, but also the GOP and how they have handled all of this. I covered in a recent video. You had a GOP lawmaker actually tweeting out the location of where Nancy Pelosi was during the insurrection. So this is something that, once Trump is gone, it's not going away. The issue not only is Trump, not only is the voters, not only is the Republican Party, but also current lawmakers that are Republicans sitting in the House and the Senate that supported this insurrection. Now, let me get to the clip here, which actually deals with this carrying guns on the House floor point. So Cori Bush was on MSNBC and made a great point here.
There was a strange thing that happened on the floor tonight. I know you weren't there, but we've been getting reports. I think due to security concerns, which frankly are a little unnerving, which I think are some Democratic colleagues a little concerned about their Republican colleagues, there were magnetometers, metal detectors placed for members to pass through on entrance into the House chamber itself, so that members who are carrying, Lauren Boebert, freshman member who's very vocal about the fact she wants to carry, there was then a standoff and a bunch rushed around or rushed through, or one knocked over apparently a Capitol police officer or bumped into a Capitol police officer. I should be precise with my language, and have basically just evaded it and said, this doesn't apply to us. And I know you're not there. That's what we know so far. I mean, more facts, but just your reaction to that. Many of the people are the kinds of people I think that voted, to overturn the election as well.
So when I went in, I didn't see that take place. There was a line of people that were waiting to go through the metal detectors. So in the place where I was, people were just waiting in line, and we went through without incident. But for those that did that, first of all, we're talking about your job. Let's just look at it from the most basic level. If you work at McDonald's, you have to wear the uniform or you're not working today. If you are, wherever you are, when you're told this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do, or you're not working. And I don't know, maybe it's because I don't know, have they ever had a job before? Also, how do you get on a plane? You have to go. So to say that this is against your rights, do you rush through and not go through the metal detectors when you're trying to get on a plane? Like, that's a bunch of bull crap. Again, that is them trying to push the limits as far as they can. We have Congress members who have said that they want to carry their guns on the House floor. We have Congress members who bring their guns to our office buildings. This is where we should feel safe, but you're bringing your guns to the office building. I don't feel safe around that. Many people don't feel safe with that. And you know what? If they won't abide by the simple things that this job calls for, then go find another one.
One of the things I love most about Cori Bush is that she cuts through the bullshit. If they won't abide by the rules that this job calls for, find another one. Have they had a job before? Do you understand that if you don't wear the uniform, you can't go to work that day? But no, there is a special kind of irony when lawmakers think they are above the law. Who wants to work with completely insane lunatics like Lauren Boebert, who tweeted out the location of Nancy Pelosi during the insurrection? Who wants to work with someone like that who wants to bring a gun with them inside? Not to mention the entire mask thing. There was a rule now in the House that you have to wear a mask. It's been there since the summer. You didn't have GOP lawmakers wear masks when they were isolating during the insurrection, and now you have several Democrats and members of their family getting COVID-19 because GOP lawmakers refused to wear masks in tiny rooms when they were hiding during the insurrection. It's hard to know what to say at this point. The crazy people have begun to become elected into Congress. And I really shouldn't say that because they've been there for a while. But there is a next level of crazy, QAnon crazy, bringing guns into the chamber crazy, that people like Cori Bush, who are trying to fight for people, now have to deal with.